Okay, hello everyone. So this is chapter 5, the cost function. So this is actually under, again, chapter 5. So part of chapter 5, more on cost theory and estimation. So this is just a refresher lang yapon or review. So the cost function. So we have different types of cost. So good as yes, different types of cost. We got fixed cost, variable cost, short run cost function, long run cost function, and so on and so forth. So fixed costs are those that do not change with changes in output. So these includes the cost of fixed inputs used in the production. So the same as fixed inputs or fixed product, more siya ingana. So fixed costs are more on cost. Nga again, they do not change based on the output. So they do not change the output itself, such as rent and so on and so forth. So next is variable. Again, same lang yapon, but cost is this cost affects or changes our output. So it includes the cost of inputs that vary without output. So those things that again directly affects our production, our inputs and outputs, variable cost. So the short run cost function is it is a function that defines the minimum possible cost of producing each level when variable factors are employed in the cost minimizing fashion. So in the short run, we need to focus on the most minimum, pinakagamay nga possible nga gasto in order to produce each level of output. Okay. So for the short run cost function, they focus on minimizing if possible gamay ra gid atong gasto with minimize cost at a maximum level of output. So that is our goal. But for short run, more on again minimum possible cost at a cost of producing each level when variable factors are employed in the cost minimizing fashion. So if possible, if our variable, let's say inputs are land and capital, so mangita gyud kag way nga mas makabarato ka. Mas dili kay dako imong gasto compared sa imong profit, especially in the short run. We have some table here. We have fixed inputs, same lang yapon to variable inputs and outputs. So this is for the cost function. So these are actually given the fixed input, variable input, and output. So let's say, for example, we have a fixed cost. So a fixed cost of 2,000. Okay, fixed ganit siya, it would be always has the same amount regardless of what level. So fixed. Let's say, for example, imuhang gasto sa rent. Taga-bulan ka magbayad og 2,000. That's an example of a fixed cost. While variable costs, again, they vary. So as you can see, 4, 8, 1, 2, 1, 6, and so on and so forth. And the total cost is actually the addition, okay, the summation rather of our fixed cost and variable cost. So giad lang siya actually. So total, from there itself, total nga gasto. May it be fixed or variable. Okay, variable, it depends. Okay, variable cost depends on many things. For example, money ang price for mushroom from 400 nga nitaas, siya nga nitaas. So that is an example of variable cost. So these are also given. So immersion i-add to get the total cost. So that would be 2,000 plus 400 to 4, 2,000 plus 8 to 8, 2,000 plus 1 to 3 to and so on and so forth. So that is how simple getting the total cost. You just add all the cost available or given. So next is the average fixed cost. So these are the fixed cost divided by the number of units of output. So from there it is of average fixed cost. Murag, the average number nga in each unit of output is being produced, pila ang cost nga gaka-gain. Rather, pila ka average fixed cost ang gakagain. So this is where you just need to divide. Okay, divide the fixed cost by its quantity. So that's AFC. Next is average variable cost. So variable cost divided by the number of units of output. So VC over quantity. So still the same with fixed cost. The difference is that fixed lang siya, ang isa kay variable. Variable means it changes over time. So next we have average total cost. So these are cost divided by the number of units of output. So the total cost ganina, it shall be divided by the total unit of output. So that's when you'll know how much is the average total cost. So let's look at the table here. As you can see, na-add na siya. So let's try to solve for the AFC based on the given nga formula. So in a minute. So I hope you can see my screen clearly. So this is again on the cost function. So I'll just write it here. So I hope you can see my screen clearly. So I'll write down the formulas. So we have, okay, I'll just put that here. Total cost is equals to fixed cost plus variable cost. The next formula we'll need to know is the average fixed cost. This would be AFC is equals to FC divide Q, while we have average variable cost, which is FC. Oh no, it's VC, variable cost over quantity. Oh no, in a minute. Over quantity. Next is average total cost. So that would be, okay, in a minute. Total cost divide quantity. So let's try to solve the given, okay, the variable. So as simple as this one, all you need to do is solve for AFC. So AFC is fixed cost. Here, fixed cost divide the quantity. So let's try to use our calculator to solve this one. It's actually as simple as that. Again, average fixed cost is where you just need to divide fixed cost, which is 2000, divide the quantity, 76. So let's have 2000 divide 7 and 6, then you'll get 26.32. So this one is correct for the average fixed cost at an output of 76. How about in an output of 248? So let's try to solve this one. That would be 2000 divide 248. So you'll get 8.06 here. So I hope that's clear sa inyo. Next is at output of 492. So we will have the fixed cost, which is from the order of fixed 2000. So divide 784. You'll get 2.555 and so on and so forth. So as you can see, from 26, it is diminishing. So pagamay siya nga, pagamay. So let's continue. Okay, how about average? Okay, average variable cost. How do we solve this one? So to derive our average variable cost, it is as simple from the word itself, average variable cost. So imurang i-divide the variable cost with the output. So as you can see, we have varying numbers or amounts under variable cost. Okay, variable get siya, di siya fixed, like siya amount. So let's try to solve the first. Okay, at a variable cost of 400, you just need to divide it by 76. Then you'll get 5.26. So this is correct. Next is at variable cost of 800, divide 200, okay, 248, then you'll get 3.23, and so on and so forth. So last one would be 12, okay, 1200 divide 492, and you'll get 2.44. So you can see here, it is the same as our table shown in the table. So that's how easy and simple you'll get the average fixed cost and variable cost. So how about the average total? Okay, from the itself total cost. How will you solve this one? So you just need to add both variable and fixed costs. So emotionally add as simple as that. So let's start with the first one. We have 26.32. Okay, oh no. 20, 26.32 plus 5.26. So you'll get 31.58. So this is correct. You just need to add both average. Next is 8.06. Add 3.23. As you can see here, so we are on the second row. That would be 11.29. So this is correct. And lastly, 4.07. So AFC plus 2.44 here, 2.44. So you'll get 6, oh no, namali. 6.51. So this is actually 51. So, basin mo siya na round up. Okay. Basin nalibog mo ganina, I just clicked history. So, para mabalik siya. So, that's it. So, that's how simple you'll get ATC. Okay. How to complete the table. In a minute. So let's continue. So we also have what we call marginal or incremental cost. So in every additional, so kung marginal kay ang word, that means additional. So in every additional unit of output, it will give you additional cost. Okay, based on marginal cost man siya. Di man siya marginal revenue. So because it's marginal cost, so that means in every additional unit daw magkakaproduce, there is additional unit of gastong magkakagain si company. So that's marginal cost. So as you can see here, this is its formula. So the usual formula for marginal cost, let's write it here first. So MC, or MR gapon. So MC or marginal product. So percent change in cost and percent change in quantity. So let's try to solve our MC here. So as you can see, given a quantity, given ang quantity, given ang variable cost, given ang total. Okay, total cost. So we need to look for the MC. So MC is by, okay, percent change in quantity. So actually it is number 5 here, and percent change in cost and percent change in quantity here. So that's how we'll come up with our MC. Okay, so let's try to look for our marginal cost. So what if wala ko'y, let's say for example, wala ni siya apil, wala na ko naghatag o given. Actually, it's so easy to look for the percent change in quantity. So same lang gyapon sa itong usual marginal na formula. Marginal cost is actually as simple as present minus previous, okay? So let's have number 1 for example. So number 1 at quantity of 76. So let's focus on the givens. So that would be 76 minus 0. So that would be 0. Oh no, that would be 76. And we have the given here 24 minus 2000. Okay, 24 minus 2000, that would be, okay, 400. So 400 divided 76. So the answer would be 5.26. So as you can see, that is our marginal cost. That's how you again look for marginal cost. Present minus previous. Okay. So let's continue. How about number 2. So at 248 down, 248 here, present, less the previous number, which is 76. So that would be 172. Well, for the given, 28 minus 24, that's the usual 400. As you can see, kani bito nga table, mas kuan na siya, gisolve na siya daan. Mas dali siya sa imuha if you try to do another table too. So that would be 400 divided 172. You'll get 2.33. As you can see here, so this is 2.33. So let's continue. How about the last one? 492. 492 less 248. Here, over here. 492 less 248. So that would be 244. This is it actually. So 32 minus 28, that is actually 400. So 400 divide. Okay, ako na solve. So pwede yung mag-label. 32 over here. 32 less the previous number, which is 28. You'll get 400. 400 divide 244. So that is the difference between these two numbers. So divide 244, then you'll get 1.64, as you can see here. So that's how you'll get our marginal cost. So as simple as that one. Next is the relations among costs. So we have marginal cost curve. So they intersect the ATC, average total cost, and AVC, average variable carbs, at their minimum points. So again, nag-intersect atong ATC and AVC. So I hope you can see. So ga-intersect daw siya at the minimum points. So the minimum points, so let's try to look at where it's that. This one. So asa sila ga-intersect. So actually ga-intersect atong ATC and AVC over somewhere over here. Okay, same sila og number. So at minimum points, we have ATC again and AVC curves at their minimum points. So they are intersecting. So this implies that when MC, marginal cost, is below an average cost curve, average cost is declining. And when MC, marginal cost, is above average cost is rising. Again, if possible, mag-intersect sila, mag-intersect sila sa minimum point. Ang intersection is good as break-even. So there is a break-even point between ATC and AVC. So it means now that if our MC or marginal cost is below the average cost curve, so that means nga atong average cost is declining. If it is below that point, katong minimum point, it means a decline on our gasto, average cost. But if it is above that minimum point, that means our cost is rising. So that is medyo lain paminawon nga mutas ang atoang cost, because that means another form of expense. So we have ATC and AVC here. So these curves gets closer together as output increases. So they tend to get closer because the more output there is, the higher the total cost there is, average total cost. This is so because the only difference in ATC and AVC is AFC. So as you can see, ang kalahian na sa duha is ang AFC. Kay average variable cost is an independent factor, while ATC is a dependent factor on the variable cost. So probably pagamian or patas ang average variable cost, then it will really affect our average total cost. We have an example here. So this is the cost function for managerial enterprises that is given by CQ. Here CQ is equals to 20 plus 3Q. So we need to determine the marginal cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost of producing 10 units of outputs. So we need to again make a table. So based on the given na mga variables. So let's try to solve this example. So this is again under the marginal cost curve. Example. Okay, example. We have here, okay, the given would be C of Q is equals to 20 plus 30 Q. So I hope that's clear. So inputs, I'll put I here would be 10 units. So we know that MC is equals to 6Q. 6Q, thus the marginal cost of producing 10 units of output is $60. So as we all know, given a total cost of producing an output would be at A10. So let's try to solve this one. So that means we have a marginal cost of $6, a 6Q. This marginal cost. Okay, so we have an example that the marginal cost is equals to 6Q. Thus, the marginal cost of producing 10 units of output is 60. So, example reporting 6Q ha. So, again, MC is equals to 6Q. So, let's try to solve that one first. This is another formula. So, MC is equals to 6Q. So, that means here over here. So, that means that we have 20 plus 3. Okay, 20 plus 3 and Q. We need to look for MC. So that means let's try to look for Q here. So we need to divide. Okay, ako siyang gikuan ha. I hope inyo ako na follow. So this is actually 6 or 7. 6.66. So 3 divided 20, it's 6. That's why we have an MC of 6Q here. That is just another example. Again, we just need to look for quantity. To look for quantity, you just need to divide both sides with 3. So you just need to balhin the other variable. Okay. Ibalhin siya sa pikas. So we have 3Q equals to 20. Divide both sides with 3 to cancel out 3. So you'll get quantity of 6. So this is just another example. So sumpay na ni siya actually. Again, thus the marginal cost of producing 10 units of output is 60. So 6 times 10 would be 60. Given yang iyahang total cost is 10 units of outputs. So 6 times 10 is equals to $60. So this is the total cost. That's why it had come up with this number. So let's continue with our formula. So just a continuation, I'll just color it blue. So we have C of Q. Okay, given man ang 10. So 3 times 10. So this is actually Q. I'll just put 10 there. So let's look for the answer. So 20 plus 30 is equals to okay, sorry ko lang, hindi ko 0. Natingala ko 20 plus 30. So this is actually 300. 3 times 10 is 300. So 20 plus 300 is equals to 320. So this is the answer. So this is the cost. Okay. So this is the marginal cost here. questions. Okay, so let's continue. So actually, the first one that we had answered is actually the first to determine, that is MC. So we have marginal cost. So the answer would be at 60. So marginal cost would be at 60. So I hope it is clear with you. We have MC here. Again, you just need to use the formula for MC. So marginal cost is more likely, okay. So again, that's how you get the marginal cost. So marginal cost, we need to look for the quantity first, given nga wala man siya gihatag. Okay. So we have output here. So that would be at 10. So first we need to look for quantity. So that's how you'll get quantity. You just need to change. Okay, change cost to 0. Then you need to put it on the other side in order to divide or to cancel out the number, which is 3. So 20 divided 3, that is actually 6.66, or let's assume a 6 or 7. So we have 6 times 10, that would be 60. So don't worry, I'll give you a more fixed number. So for examples lang ni siyang sake. So we have MC of 60. So the first one is already done. So the second one is this one, number 2. Shall I write? Okay, letter B. So this is actually letter B. So 320 ang atuang. Okay, 320 ang atuang quantity. So let's try to look for the average fixed cost. Average fixed cost, variable cost, and average total cost. So fixed costs are those costs that do not vary again with the output. So thus fixed costs are 20. So as you can see here, this is automatically fixed cost because wala, dili man siya mag-vary. So that means nga, if wala siya, let's say, letter here, or let's say capital or labor, so that means it is a fixed. Fixed ni siya nga input. So let's try to solve this one. So letter C would be fixed input. Okay, FC. So FC is actually $20 because again, $20 siya because it doesn't have any independent na variables with it. So automatic ang assumption, fixed cost is at 20. Okay, in a minute. See. Automatically at 20. As you can see here, while variable costs are those costs that vary with output, namely, okay, it varies down with output. We have VC quantity is equals to JQ. So this would be letter D. We need to look for VC. Okay, in a minute. We need to look for VC. So that would be, okay, VC quantity is equals to 3Q. Given, as you can see, this is the automatic variable cost, fixed in variable nga cost. So thus at VC of 10, okay, at VC of 10, that means okay, so VC of 10 is equals to 3 times 10. Oh no, in a minute. So at VC of 10, that means now we have $300 here. So 10 times 3, that is $300. So that's how you'll get the variable cost. So it follows that the AFC is 2, ABC is 30, and ADC is 32. So the rest should follow. So, given nga nanatay, okay. Givens for variable cost and fixed cost. So dali na mangita og average fixed cost and average variable cost. So letter E would be, okay, medyo kuan siya. This would, we have it here. Let's try to write letter E. So letter E would be, okay, we have average fixed cost here. So average fixed cost is fixed cost over quantity. So that means we have a fixed cost of, okay, 20 over 10. So that is automatically at $2. So that's why, again, fixed cost would be $2. Next would be EF, average variable. Oh no. We have average variable cost here. So that means variable cost over quantity is equals to, okay, variable cost is at 300. 300 over 10. So that means we have a variable cost of $30. 300 over 10, that is $30. So that is for A, B, C. So that's it. Well, for ATC, you just need to add this both up. We have E, F, G. Letter G. So medyo taas-taas siya nga letter, no? Naabot na to letter G. We have ATC here. That would be ABC plus AFC. So the answer would be $2 plus 300. So, oh no, just only 30 plus 30 will get, okay, average total cost of 32. So that's it. That's how you'll solve it based on the given. So I hope that's clear sa inyo. So gihatag lang is the cost function, and you just need to determine the following and based on the 10 units of output. So ingana lang siya. Actually, mas dali siya i-table, but for our example or exercise, you'll need to try to solve using these case studies or examples. So medyo taas siyang a process given nga daghan pud ang gi-require. Marginal cost pa lang. Next is the, okay, cost itself, total cost. We have fixed cost, variable cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost. So that's how you get the cost function. So let's try to have another example. So let's try to have another example. Example 2. What if we'll have, okay, I'll put given here. So the given would be at cost of a given quantity, you'll have 10 plus 2Q. So money example. So we need to solve first for the marginal cost. So again, exercise 2 na ta. So you'll know. So we have first, we need to look for the marginal cost first. So marginal cost is percent change in quantity over percent change in cost. Okay, balidi, sorry. Percent change in cost over percent change in quantity. So first, we need to look for the cost itself. Pila dihay ang cost? Given nga, ang, okay, the variable of inputs is 10 yapon. So that's the given. Then I'll put inputs here. The inputs is equals to 5. So ako siya 5 units. So that is the given. So first we need to look for marginal cost. But before that, we need to look for the cost itself. So cost would be C. Okay, let's try to use Okay, this would be 0. Okay, CQ is equals to, because we are going to look for Q, 10 plus 2Q. So that means we need to have 2Q over here and 10. I hope klaro lang sa inyo. So ako siyang gi-interchange, gibalhin lang sa pikas. So this is good as 0 or wala. That's what I did. So ang 2Q gibalhin ako sa pikas and gi-retain ang 10. So that's what happened. So you just need to divide both sides with 2 to cancel out again 2. So the answer here is at cost of 5. Okay, $5 ang iyahang cost. So let's try to continue with our marginal cost. So that means, okay, let's try to solve this one. Okay, based on the marginal. So that means we are going to use the formula. So at cost of 5 daw, we have 10 plus 2. Okay, in a minute. We have 10 plus 2 times 5 here. So the answer would be, okay, 10 plus 5 times 2, that would be 10. The answer is 20. So marginal cost is 20. MC at 5 is 20. So this is the answer for our example. So again, marginal cost is percent change in quantity over Q. So that is 10 plus 2 times 5, which is the cost ato siyang gisolve ganina earlier. So 10 plus 10 is equals to $20. So let's try to solve the other nga given or ginapangita. We have letter B. So letter B is average fixed cost. So this is actually, okay, fixed cost, okay, fixed cost over quantity. So this is its formula. So let's try to solve this one. So as you can see here, fixed costs are those costs that do not vary. Thus, fixed cost is 20. Wala man siya variable na input. As you can see here, okay, I'm itong given ganina. As you can see here, our 10 doesn't have any variable na input. So good as siya itong fixed cost. Fixed cost is equals to 10. So let's try to solve this one. So the usual will have, okay, AFC is equals to 10 over quantity, which is 5. Okay, as you can see, quantity is at $5. So that means we have an average fixed cost of, okay, 10 over 5, so that would be 2. Average fixed cost of 2. So this is the answer for the average fixed cost. So let's try to continue. Again, nga na siya ka simple. Given that we have already identified our fixed cost. So let's continue to our variable cost. So that is letter. Okay, what letter was that in a minute? Kanya. Okay, so let's continue. So that is for average fixed cost. Now we'll continue to solve for the average variable cost. So that is letter C, average variable cost. So that is denoted by this formula. Variable cost equals to over quantity. So that's it. But first we need to look for variable cost. So variable cost is more likely, okay, more likely our 2Q. So I guess that's it based on our formula here. This is variable cost given it has a variable, which is the quantity. So that is 2Q here. So let's try to solve it using the quantity of 5, okay, variable cost of 5. So that means 2 times 5 will get a 10. So variable cost is equals to 10. So nasolve na po nato ang variable cost. So with that, let's try to continue solving our average variable cost. So that is as simple as, okay, AF's average variable cost is equals to variable cost 10 over the quantity, which is 10, that is equals to 1. So we have ABC of 1. So as simple as that. So that's how, again, you'll get the average variable cost here. So we are done with our MC. So I'll try to circle. We have done with our marginal cost. We are done with our average fixed cost. So we look for average fixed cost here. For average variable cost, we look for the average variable cost. And now, okay, so the next one would be our average total cost. So it is actually letter D. Are we on letter D? Okay, letter D. So letter D would be average total cost. So you just simply add the AVC and AFC. I hope that's clear. So ako rin the AFC. So we have average variable cost here. Average variable cost of 1 plus average variable cost of fixed cost of 2. So that means our ATC is equals to $3. So this is the answer for letter D. So that is for the average total cost. So it is as simple as that. So we got at least 4 steps based on what we need to look for. So we have 4 steps. Again, marginal cost. Next is average fixed cost. Next is average variable cost. And lastly, average total cost. So that's how you'll get it based on the example or form case, okay, based on the case. So let's continue. So I hope that's clear sa inyo, ha? So let's continue to solve fixed and sunk cost. So we have fixed cost. So it is a cost that do not change again when output changes. Well, we have another term. This is what we call sunk cost. So a sunk cost is a cost. Okay, a cost that is forever lost after it has been paid. So mura siya og na thank you nga fudge. Okay. Okay, so that is sunk cost. Again, sunk cost is forever lost after it has been paid. Murag kana bitang imong gasto nga dili na siya mabalik. So that's what it meant by sunk cost. So it is sunk forever. So next is we have example here. So we have HCME coal. So it paid. So we have an example here. So Acme Coal paid 5,000 to lease a rail car from the Reading Railroad. So under the terms of the lease, okay, so we have Acme Coal paid 5,000 to lease a rail car from the Reading Railroad. So under the terms of the lease, $100,000 of this payment is refunded if the rail car is returned within 2 days of signing the lease. So upon signing the lease daw and paying 5,000, how large is Acme's fixed cost? What do you think? So based on the given, so okay, I'll try to write this one down. Okay, Acme. So for Acme, the fixed cost would be, okay, we have 5,000. So upon signing the lease and paying 5,000, how large is Acme's fixed cost? Okay, that would be actually 4,000 because mubalik man or ma-refund siya ang 1,000 after 2 days daw. So what do you think is its sunk cost? So fixed cost of 4,000. Probably its sunk cost would be 1,000. Okay, what if? Okay, what if it is not returned after 2 days? So thank you ang iyang 1,000. For example, dili niya mabalik ang katong railroad, okay, rail car in 2 days. So thank you iyang 1,000. So that's the sunk cost. So one day after signing the lease, Acme realizes that it has no use for the rail car. So a farmer has a bumper crop of corn and has offered to sublease the rail car from Acme at a price of 4,500. Should Acme accept the farmer's offer? So a day daw after nga nag-sign na si Acme sa iyahang rail car, ay siya ka-realize na, hala, dili man ko ni gamiton. Unsaon na lang ko ni? Ay, ako na lang ning iparenta sa uban. Basig na yung nanginahanglan og rail car. So, naisa ka farmer nga nisugot. Okay, akong irenta ang imuhang narentahan nga rail car. But, gaano tikag 4,500 given nga a day after naman siya. So, should you accept the offer or not? Given nga mas lesser siya sa gibaran nga 5,000. Should you accept the offer or not? So, probably if you were Acme, again, dili din mo kinahanglan ng rail car. So, imo siyang gipa himulos sa lain. But, ang iyang bayad is 4,500. Why do you think so? So, do you think you would accept the offer? Mas lesser siya sa imong nagasto? So, actually, you would say yes. Yes, because ang imuhang sunk cost would be only 500. Okay, $500 compared sa 1,000 itself. Kay, kuan naman din, si farmer naman din bahala. Okay, bahala magbalik sa imong gihulaman sa rail car after 2 days. So, after a day ra siguro, more good as 1 day lang nga rent ang gigamit ni farmer. That's why it's lesser ang iyahang cost. So, that's it. So, yes, Acme should accept the offer given nga siya daw siyang offer. Medyo lugi lang siya sa part nga lugi siya 500 but still okay na siya kaysa malugi siya og 1,000 or matiway gud iyang 5,000 itself. So, that's the opportunity cost. So, that is an example for sunk cost and fixed cost. So again, Acme's fixed cost, is 5,000 DI for the first 2 days. 5,000 siya. So for the first 2 days, its sunk costs are 4,000. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. Sorry. Nabali DI. So we have it here. Sunk cost, fixed cost dunya is 5,000. And for the first 2 days, it has a sunk cost of 4. So this is the amount that cannot be recouped or mabalik. So after 2 days, the entire 5,000 becomes a sunk cost. So after 2 days daw, iyahadang sunk cost is 5,000 because, again, dili na mabalik ang iyahang money because yan ang na-use ang railroad. And Acme should sublease the rail car because note that Acme's total loss is 500 if it accepts the farmer's offer. If it does not, it will lose equal to 4,000, assuming it returns the rail car by the end of the next business day. So, yes, Acme should accept the offer given nga mas makatipid siya. Kay okay ra kay nga na siya loss nga 500 compared sa 4,000 itself or 5,000 itself. So that is the answer for the given question or situation. Okay, so we also have long run average cost curve. So this cost curve that defines the minimum average cost of producing alternative levels of output allowing for optimal selection of both fixed and variable factors of production. So from the word itself, long run average cost curve. So it focuses more on the minimum average costs of producing alternative levels of output. So more on other levels of output daw in order to have the minimum average cost nga gaka-produce. So we have economies of scale. So this exists when long run average cost decline as output is increasing. Again, average cost is declining. Okay, that's economies of scale. So when long run average cost decline as output is increased. So the more it is declining ang atong average cost, that means we have economies of scale, or that means we are profiting. Next is this economies of scale. So this is where average costs rise up. So as output is increasing. So that means you are losing more than you are gaining in your company. That's what it meant by this economies of scale. Or more on, again, itaas ang imuhang cost. Kay, due to the average cost is rising as per your output is increasing. So that means nga, additional gastos for you. While constant returns to scale exist when long-run average cost remain constant as output is increased. So I'll try to draw a simple nga map. I hope you can see it clearly. So just an illustration. Okay, never mind my Agi. So this is economies of scale. Again, it is increasing. While this economies of scale, I know the economies of scale pa siya ha. Okay. So economies of scale means, again, it is increasing. While we have what we call constant return of scale, mura siya constant. Again, average cost remains constant as output increase, while this is this economies of scale. So that means there is so this is it. Okay, so again, economies of scale, constant returns of scale, and this economies of scale. Okay, so mara na siya og diminishing. So the average cost rises as output is increased. So it most likely looks like this, kani siya nga curve. So we also have multiple cost function. So this function that defines the cost of producing given levels of two or more types. Okay, so more types of outputs assuming all inputs are used efficiently. So it defines again the cost of producing given levels of two or more types of output. So the more output you want to achieve, the more inputs you need to use. So multiple cost function. So probably you would add many functions here, katong formula. So quantity is equals to as many inputs you can have or use. We have economies of scope too. So this is where when total cost of producing two types of outputs together is less than the total cost of producing each type of output separately. So economies of scope is where you combine or add two types of outputs together daw. Kay mas better daw siya compared sa if imo siyang isa-isahon. Isa-isahon nimo siya pagka produce. So they are more likely mas niangay silang kaugalingon or mas like something, they tend to complement one another nga production function. That's why they work better together, especially their outputs. So that's economies of scope. While we have cost complementary. So this is when the marginal cost of producing one type of output decrease when the output of another good is increased. So marginal cost of producing one type of output. So this is where cost complementary mo siya mo complement or mo bagay lang pud sa imuhang gasto. So they are more siya 3-in-1 bitaw. So perfect with one another nga cost. So when the marginal cost of producing one type of output decrease, when the output of another good is increased. So na sila'y negative ni na relationship, in which when one output is increased again, another good decreases. So that is cost complementary. So they tend to be together, ani nga cost. So they complement one another. So that's all for today under cost function. So this is just another review on our topic. So if you have any question or clarification, please feel free to message me anytime. Okay? This is all for today. Thank you so much, everyone, and goodbye.